Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Going into this, you had, I think, one of the most easiest, most perfect storylines to develop. You have a history of 20 years, a 20-year history, where it was Randy Orton basically taking Cody Rhodes under his wing. And there it was, 20 years. And then there was a period of time when Cody Rhodes left, and then he came back. And now he is the champion, and Randy is not, and the title is up for grabs. There's that story. Did the once teacher get surpassed by the student now? 20 years in the making, a 20-year story. And then for whatever reason, we had Randy Orton needing motivation, speaking to someone on the phone to quite remember him, to remind him of who he is. Pep talk, motivation. Names were thrown out there like Cowboy Bob Orton. When I heard that name, Cowboy Bob Orton, I thought to myself, a lot of the new universe would maybe not know who Cowboy Bob Orton is. That's not Cowboy Bob Orton. Ric Flair was another name thrown out there. Ric Flair, I believe, is currently with AEW. I don't think that would work either. And I really don't see the connection between, direct correlation between Ric Flair and how would that involve Cody Rhodes, to tie that in. Cody Rhodes does not have a history with Ric Flair. I think it's Dusty had a relationship with. You might say, okay, you could use that, but I just never seen it being Ric Flair. There was also names like Vince McMahon. I'll be honest, I thought that was a possibility. Because the way Randy Orton was speaking on the phone to said person, you talk to yourself, this person had to be a little bit older. You got the impression that this person was a little bit older than Randy Orton, maybe been around the block, maybe had high success. So for whatever reason, anything's possible. I thought it was Vince McMahon. Or I was going with Kevin Owens. Or I even thought to myself, maybe he was speaking to himself, the voices in his head. But as they kept on hinting, or as they kept on progressing the storyline week after week after week, I thought it can't be him speaking to himself, because that would be a little bit anticlimactic. So it's Pat Mcafee. Pat Mcafee basically saying that, look, he doesn't want to see 5'5" something guys just wrestle there for 40 minutes without a cause. He misses the Attitude Era. He misses the big brawly guys, big tough guys that just could scare you. Many questions with this. Why would Randy Orton, a veteran for over 20 years, need any type of motivation from Pat McAfee? How would that correlate? There are many other people that he could go to, not Pat McAfee, a former NFL punter and a commentator. That's one. Number two, and there are many things that Pat McAfee said, that the ticket sales are down. Okay, why would you, bring that to light? Why would the WWE want to bring that to light with Pat McAfee saying that? So that, doesn't make sense to me. You look at the WrestleMania card: Drew McIntyre, Obafemi, Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. All these guys are big guys. So that doesn't make sense as to what Pat McAfee was saying. He also was saying, when you look at the brutality, listen, you just had Gunther choke out Pat McAfee not too long ago in the recent past. He was choked out, was Mcafee, and so all of this, it just doesn't make sense. Maybe bringing back that money, if only you said that line, just bringing back the Attitude Era. Okay, okay, it will be a right message, a right delivery, wrong messenger. Pat McAfee and Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, this whole circle does not make any sense to me. It does not. And it seems like it's a little bit of an L. Big L. This was one of the easiest storylines, I think, to develop. And then I realized to yourself, as a wrestling fan, in the climate, 2 days after this happened already now, being it's Sunday, 2 days after this has happened, in the climate that we are, the fact of WWE being owned by a billion-dollar company in TKO, right? All they care is the final dollar. The final dollar, right? And when they say ticket sales are down, 19%? You factor in, that the back to Vegas again, second year in a row. Ticket prices are through the roof. But TKO does not care about that. They just look at what could they do to maximize TV time, maximize audience. So what eventually is going to happen now, in a simple storyline that was completely fumbled, you're going to have, you have Pat McAfee now. You have, and I think Jelly Roll will be in that storyline with Cody, Randy, Pat McAfee. So you have, you're going to have Cody, and in the corner of in his corner is Jelly Roll getting his back. Randy Orton with Pat McAfee in his corner. And look, what TKO feels and hopes is that this will bring in an audience, product, more eyes, people that are not familiar with WWE, will watch the Pat McAfee show or listen to Jelly Roll's music, follow him on Instagram, follow him on Twitter, on X. Guys like I Show Speed. These guys have a huge following on social media, and they hope that this will bring new eyes and it will entice people to buy, WrestleMania. It's no longer, it's a different WWE. It's about the bottom line, dollars and cents, more so making things make sense as far as the storyline. It's a business, and that's how it's run. Bottom line, bringing in the most money. And if they have to bring in more stars to sell their product, that's what they'll do. They're pulling up all the stops. And what it is that making Pat McAfee inserting Pat McAfee into the Randy Orton storyline there with Cody Rhodes was a direct edict from TKO. I mean, at that point, what would you do? What could Triple H do? There's not much that he could do. Not much that he could do. So I don't know you can't really be quick to blame here. Triple H, to a point, but more of this blame has to be with TKO. Disappointing. I mean, I would have thought that it might have been Kevin Owens to make sense, assuming Kevin Owens is back with his neck and he healed and insert him into the storyline somehow. You know, they try to tie in Pat McAfee. It's a stretch to me. So I hope all is well